Good morning from Shalom Acres. Luke and I this morning thought it'd be a great idea to kind of talk about what we've already planted and put in the ground. We're about, I'd say 2 weeks ahead of schedule compared to where we normally are. But we've got several things seem like that are going well. The weather seems warm. And also our son's due in the next 5 weeks. So we're trying to push to get as much done as we can, so that way we can spend as much time with him. But you'll see in front of us here, this is all of our potatoes. We did several videos last year on potatoes, and this year we're kind of doing a little bit of a hybrid between those two. So last year we did one straight in the hay. That one produced good yields, but the problem that we had with it was it ended up getting, the hay ended up staying on the outside of the potato, the skin of the potato, and just made it really difficult to clean when you're wanting a baked potato, because it just seemed like the hay just wanted to stay on there. So they were great for when you made mashed potatoes and other stuff like that, but we just like to smash our skins right in or eat the skins, and it just made it a lot more difficult to do. So we went ahead and put in 20 pounds of white Yukon Gold. These are all the potatoes that we had left that were starting to grow. And we did a simple little method. So you can see right here, because we're actually going to plan on putting in some more. All I did was I just came through. This year I was able to use the tractor, that little implement that we made for ripping out rocks. I was able to use it to make these hills, and it worked out pretty slick. So what we decided to do this year was we put the potato right down in the center of the hill, and then we just simply covered over, with some dirt. And now everything underneath the hay is all level, and then we just covered it up with hay. And I'm hoping to come up with a unique attachment that will actually allow us to dig the potatoes this year with the tractor. I've watched several videos from Deep South, Homestead, and he's talking about how when he's, he didn't set things up the way he would like for long-term sustainability as he gets older. And it really made me think, if we can't use some of the equipment we have around here, there's going to be a day when my kids, possibly won't be here, and also I'll just get older. So if I don't come up with a good way to do this, because this is a lifestyle we've chosen to live, it's going to be harder on my body, and it'll also be hard on us because we won't have the amount of food. So that's some of the stuff we've planted, and I'll show you the other areas. Okay, if you look out here in this field, this is actually where we're planning on doing our vineyard long term. But the other thing is, right over here, you'll see I've got a beehive. And one of the viewers on here actually said, why don't you put in some white clover? Great nitrogen fixer, good opportunity for bees. I thought that was wonderful, spot on. So I definitely appreciate the comments you all make, because there's a lot of times we're able to actually move forward with them. So we've got about 3/4 of an acre planted here in white clover. I just dished it up, lightly seeded over the top. I put in about 3 pounds of white clover seed for 3/4 of an acre. And I've got a little bit more, so if I need to reseed, I can do that too. But you can see our whole new orchard area. I dished up everything in there too, and I made it so that way it'll hopefully, that white clover will take. I'm not worried about the seed as far as it, because it hasn't rained since I put it down. They claim that seed's pretty hardy and can take multiple frosts, multiple freezes, and that'll help work it in the ground. There's one thing I did do. I did not grade over it or anything, because the seed is real small. If you get anywhere deeper than 1/2 inch, it definitely will not germinate. So I'm just going ahead and letting the rain, as we get rain hopefully here in the next few weeks, it'll just pack that little small seed down in. And if you're not aware of white clover, how many seeds there are per pound, there's 3/4 of a million seeds. So it's a huge number. And so I'm not worried that we didn't get seed out. I think that we'll get quite a bit of germination, provided we get the rain. So that's another thing we've planted. I'll be back in the second with some more. Okay, in our front garden area here, in this particular spot, we've put 120 cabbage in here. There's like 110 of the green, and then there's about a dozen of the red cabbage. You can see, I mean, they're not real big, but there's definitely an abundance of them in here. We spaced them out every 2 feet, put them up on a grid pattern, and then we alternated. So as far as you know, you've got one here, here, and then there's one right there also. So we set that up all the way down, so we're expecting this whole area to be covered in cabbage. And after we're done harvesting the cabbage, provided we get some moisture, we'll probably reseed in this area, and this will probably be where we put in our sweet corn, because the cabbage is only going to take about 90 days, and then should be ready to, nice time to put in some sweet corn. So we've definitely got quite a bit of cabbage. And then over here, in this particular area, all the way over, you can see we've got 60 broccoli plants in. Seem to have a good fall harvest. So we wanted to go ahead and continue on with the spring, so that way we don't have to worry about buying any frozen broccoli, because we definitely like our greens. So that's some additional items. Talk in a second about some more. In our little greenhouse area, which really isn't a greenhouse right now because my roof's shredded, but we're going to talk about that some other day as far as how we're going to fix it. But we got some Chinese cabbage planted in here, and then also over here. And these right here are just some cuttings from peach. This is all of the golden raspberries. Here's some cuttings right here off of some grapes, some muscadine grapes. And then here's the other part I want to talk about as far as all these little onions. So we had another subscriber, Mimo. Seems to be a great source of knowledge, has lots of information to share, and was talking about the amount of daylight that we have for onions. So hopefully several of you watched the video that we had on the onions, the potato onions. We still have those in the ground. We put about 100 of those in the ground, but we've also decided that we're going to put some additional onions in the ground. So what we have here, we've got some Georgias and then also some Texas varieties. There's about, like I said, 100, 120 of them. We're probably going to plant some more of these because these are actually, we're in the area where we don't have real long sun. So it's, I believe it's called short daylight versus a long daylight, which is up north, which is specifically where we bought those onions from. I do know somebody in the area that has grown those onions, so I think they're going to still make, but wanted to make sure because we really like our onions. So we've got a whole little bed here of onions planted, and we'll just get this whole thing filled out. And then the final part that we've got is we just went ahead and put in some additional kale, so that way it mixes in with our salad real well. And then here we go, we've got some additional muscadine. I think these are the bronze and the other ones were the purple. And then over here, I believe I've got some plum cuttings just to see what we'll take. There's a few more peach cuttings. And down in here, we've started putting in just a little bit of seed lettuce. And we've got a little bit starting to pop through. So hopefully we'll get a little more moisture, and that'll allow everything to just continue to green up, because I think the temperatures are going to be nice and warm. So that should be nice. So that's just wanted to take you through. It feels like it's early to be planting here on our homestead, probably the same way on yours. But all these crops that we've put in right now are still pretty cold tolerant. The potatoes are going to continue to be covered by the hay. And I've got additional hay down there, so if they do start popping through and we do have some cold nights with frost, I'll just throw a little more hay on them. I'm not worried about that. That'll help them have a stronger bedding. And then the cabbage can handle down to 25 degrees. Along with the Chinese cabbage, kale, all those things, they can handle those cooler temperatures, and the onions. So again, not worried about really anything we put in unless we get below probably 20 degrees. But we'll see. Hopefully we don't get bit. But like I said at the beginning of the video, we've got big things coming on the homestead, and we're trying to plan for those. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, and if you can share this with your friends and please subscribe, we'd appreciate it. Thanks. Hello.